let's bring in Bobby Marks, ESPN NBA front office insider. Hit him on Twitter at Bobby Marks 42, joining us here on ESPN Radio. Bobby, I know you read the report by Christian Winfield, New York Daily News. I'm sure you heard what Jay Will and I had to say about this. It is a very hard
Freddie, I just want you to know, Bobby cut me.
Oh, he did?
When I was with the Nets.
I
I just want to kick off the interview that way. I mean, we
good?
haven't really talked about it openly. I just,
Okay.
I would like to kick off the interview that way.
Okay,
It's cathartic for me to talk about it openly.
If it's not going to be good for you, Jay, well, you can just drink the red cup, and I'll just talk to Bobby by myself.
Bobby's my man. What's up, Bobby?
Probably the hardest transaction that I've probably made in my career, as far as the cutting you and seeing you come in for that during training camp and everything. Yeah,
doesn't make me feel better.
It doesn't make him feel better, but Brooklyn Nets fans are trying to feel better about this whole report by Christian Winfield, New York Daily News. The easy question is, how do you see things playing out between Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and the Nets? But how much of a hard answer, Bobby, is that for you to bring out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think Kyrie will be back. I think it's just a matter of if it's 2 years, 3 years, maybe 4 years as far as the length of the contract. I think when you lose in the first round like Brooklyn did, there's going to be speculation for the next 2 months here as far as what the future of Kyrie Irving is going to be. And when Kevin Durant, committed last offseason, that gave him kind of a seat at the table as far as to be part of the decision-making process. So I would think that any decision regarding Kyrie's future, Kevin will be part of, not the final say, but, Sean Marks will keep, Kevin Durant in the loop here. It's hard for me to think that all of a sudden, and I know they said, culture. Like, it's hard to go back to where they were back in 2018, 2017, when you sign, trade for superstars, sign superstars. I think you could try to emulate that a little bit here, but I don't know if it's going to be a hardline stance where it's basically a 1 year max or 1 year with a player option here. I think something eventually will be worked out. I think both sides will agree what's best for them. And Irving will be back in a Nets uniform. I think it's just going to be a matter of kind of what the length of the contract will be.
Hey, Bobby, I'm curious because I've heard, Stephen A. talk about this, and I know you can't do this with the CBA, but he proposed I would sign Kyrie to 1 year deals all the way through his career. But, are there any stipulations that a team could put in about non-basketball related injuries that take you away from the game that could probably lessen the risk for the Brooklyn Nets?
Well, I mean, there's a clause in there, but that's really just for jet skiing, that type of clause there as far as for non-basketball activities here. I think what we started to see is, certainly players have started, teams have put, games clause in their contracts as far as games played. It triggers maybe the second year in the contract as far as the amount being guaranteed. So if Brooklyn signed Irving to a 2 year contract, but he had to play, let's say 60 games in the first year for that second year to become fully guaranteed, I think there's certainly ways to go about doing that. It's a little bit different than, NFL contracts where you can cut a player and, you're really just dealing with guaranteed money here. So there's ways to go about doing it. I mean, every contract can be negotiated here, except for basically rookie scale contracts. It's just teams have basically kind of elected not to do that. And I think what you're seeing is teams in the next CBA want the NBA to basically kind of become big brother and put the rules in there for them to enforce.
ESPN NBA front office insider Bobby Marks. Hit him on Twitter, Bobby Marks 42, joining us in Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio. We haven't really talked about Steve Nash and his role, because as much as people use Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving because of those names, Bobby, a lot of this could fall on Steve Nash. How much could he be a scapegoat if things don't work out in Brooklyn, no matter what Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving decide to do?
Well, I think what you're probably going to see, and there's certainly been reports about it, you'll probably see some type of shakeup with his coaching staff. I think you'll probably see a lot of different faces there as far as who's going to be on the bench, and that's, if you're not going to let go of the head coach, that's usually that's something that front office can have a handle on as far as changing the parts on him. Yeah, I mean, Steve will be under the microscope next year, no doubt about it, especially if if Ben Simmons comes back healthy and this team is intact, and they do get off to a struggle and are not playing what we maybe thought they could be here. So, we're going to enter year 3. I would love to see him with a full season. Usually we don't get to do that as far as with a full healthy roster here and without as much turmoil here. So, Yeah, they'll be, Steve will be, certainly under pressure as far as to produce. And as I said, I think you're starting to see that as far as the coaching staff starting to shift a little bit.
Hey, Bobby, knowing KD and of KD for as long as you have, are you making this, if you're part of the front office for the Brooklyn Nets, is this a bigger deal that's becoming bigger and bigger that you have not talked to Kevin Durant since the end of the season?
No, I don't think. I think everyone needs to have a cooling off period. I really do. I think you just need to let guys. I know they were eliminated, I guess, in late April and we're in late May. I do think there needs to be a period where guys just need to get away from everything. That includes, the teams that are in the conference finals once they lose. I know the timetable is a little bit different because we've got the draft coming up and then we've got free agency here. So I think there'll be eventually in the next. I saw, Kevin was basically, all over the world as far as watching basketball games here. So I think probably sometime in mid-June that there probably is a conversation here. But I do think that for the health of everyone, that you do need like a 2-week cooling off period as far as how things ended.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.